Hello traders, welcome back to Discount Trader. As always, our focus is not on guessing market direction. We follow liquidity, wait for confirmation, and let price reveal its objective. In today's analysis, I'll show you how this approach helped identify a high probability setup from start to finish. Let's get into it. The first clue came from this liquidity sweep. Price moved below the lows, taking out stop losses and trapping sellers into the market. Once that liquidity was collected, the market had the fuel it needed for the next phase of the move. After sweeping liquidity, price reached this bullish order block. This area immediately caught my attention because it was the last bearish candle before the strong bullish expansion. Rather than entering blindly, I marked this zone as a potential reaction area and waited to see how price would behave once it returned. Now let's look at this supply zone. Before the current setup formed, price had already respected this area and reacted away from it. That tells me this wasn't just a random zone on the chart. When the market repeatedly respects a level, it suggests that institutional activity may be present there. That's why I paid close attention to the relationship between this supply zone and the order block as the setup continued to develop. Next, price created inducement. This is the area where many traders would be encouraged to enter the market too early, expecting an immediate move higher. However, inducement often exists to attract liquidity before the real expansion begins. That's why I remained patient and waited for price to reach my area of interest instead of chasing the move. As price returned to the order block, I wasn't looking for an immediate entry. I wanted confirmation that buyers were actually stepping into the market. That confirmation came in the form of a strong bullish displacement candle. Once that candle closed with clear momentum, it gave me the confidence to execute my buy trade and target the liquidity resting above the highs. At this stage, my focus shifted to the buy-side liquidity resting above these highs. Since liquidity often acts as a magnet for price, this became my primary objective for the trade. Rather than choosing a random target, I used the liquidity above the market to define where price was most likely to be drawn next. Following the confirmation entry, price began showing strong bullish intent and continued pushing higher with momentum. As the market moved away from the order block, it became clear that buyers were in control. Eventually, price reached the buy-side liquidity objective above the highs, completing the narrative from liquidity sweep to confirmation to liquidity delivery. This setup is a great example of why patience is so important in trading. Instead of chasing price, I waited for liquidity to be taken, respected my area of interest, and waited for confirmation before entering. Following a structured process helps remove emotions from trading and allows you to make decisions based on what the market is actually showing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.